Guys, what is up? Welcome back to the channel. I'm excited today because we're going to talk a little bit about something that we really haven't made a video on, and I get a lot of questions about, and we're right there. We might as well talk about it because it's the elephant in the room, right? Wiring. That's right, you guys. Wiring. Let me show you where we're at this build. You guys already know we put the body back on the car, stay the chassis back on the body, right? But a lot has happened after that. Let me show you. Oh yeah, baby. Yeah, man, it is an organized mess slash chaos, I like to call it. But you can see we're moving right along. And obviously this video is a little bit about the wiring with the AC. And like I said, I get tons of questions about it. Obviously we've done tons of videos on the vintage air kit, but we've never really done one about the wiring on this thing. It's pretty simple, believe it or not. The wiring to me is probably the easiest part of the vintage air kit. The vintage air kit is super involved, very time consuming, but the wiring is not too bad, not too shabby. Obviously, you got your hoses and lines that are going to be coming out of the side of this thing. You guys should already done that, hopefully. If not, check out other videos I have on the vintage air kits. I'll put them down in the description below. But through here, there's a few ways to skin a cat, right? There's always going to be more than one way to do things, especially wire things. Every car is a little bit different, believe it or not, even if it's the same car. So this car, we're doing a little bit something different. We're doing the power and ground, all the main stuff on the inside of the car. And we're going to have basically two wires that come out to the battery, and then everything else gets wired on inside. So with that being said, through this area here, we have your heater control valve, right? And then you have your little harness that comes out to your heater control valve. And normally here, you're going to have this white wire is a ground wire for that thing. You normally can put it here, ground it here off the body somewhere, wherever you want to do. But I decided to actually extend that wire and then bring it back inside and take it to our grounding spot, our destination grounds on the inside of the car. So you'll have that pigtail there connected to here. Of course, you got your blue wire here. This guy is coming from the inside of the car, that sub harness inside. This is technically going to go up to your trinary switch or binary switch. Is really what tells your compressor to kick on and off, sends the signal and tells it, hey, AC is turned on, kick on that clutch. But once again, we've already done a video on this particular wiring for this particular part of the AC setup, which is either it's a trinary switch or a binary switch. Trinary switch is if you're running basically a manual fan, basically working off your water pump. Or if you're running electric fans, you're going to want the trinary switch. But once again, check out that video. I'll put it down in the description below. But let's move on inside. You guys can see, man, we weren't lying. We are moving right along. We got the whole inside basically skinned out with the boom mat, man. I ain't not gonna lie to you guys. I'm digging this stuff. It's actually from DEI. It is super sticky, man. Like, it's crazy sticky, but we're not gonna go into that. But let's go into the dash side, really. Obviously, you got your vintage air box mounted and everything else like that. But let's talk a little bit about the wiring underneath here. Let me get some lighting for you guys. All right, is that better, you guys? We'll hook you guys up with that old Milwaukee here. I like this thing, magnetic base. If you guys are interested, I'll put a link down in the description below. Check it out. But, all right, nitty gritty down here. Not too hard, not too complicated. Once again, to me, I feel like this is the easiest part about the AC system is the wiring. Okay, so with the AC system, here are all the wires that are going back to the front of the car that we talked about right here, right? So I went ahead and put them through that grommet there along with all the lines. You guys saw that on the inside. Let me see if I get a better view. Is that better for you guys? All right, cool. So that's that line that was running back on the outside of the car, basically on the inner fender there. We ran them through there, and they come up to here, and they're gonna have that quick little connector that looks just like that little white guy here. You got the two cables going into it, and then you have obviously that, remember that ground wire we talked about, the white ground, and then the blue ground, or the blue wire that goes back to your trinary switch, binary switch. So you connect that to that little connector, right? Boom, easy squeezy. Now you're gonna have also a guy like that you have in your kit. You just connect that guy. That one goes back to your actual, I want to say it's your blower motor or a actual AC box here. you have a pigtail that comes off of that connected there, right? Easy squeezy. Now you're going to also have a relay for your whole setup here. And I like to mount my guy right there. Easy access, kick panel, and all that good stuff. If there's any issues, you can get to it. Nothing too crazy. And then you have a little sub harness that comes up here. And this is really meant for underneath the dash wires. We rounded it up here. And we're coming across here. And then you're going to have this little breaker. This little breaker up here is actually meant basically for the entire system, the entire vintage air kit system. So you're going to have your main power that's coming off the breaker here. We looped it back and we have our power distribution center right here. So this is our guy right here. That's a constant 12 volts hooked up there. So you have that, but you're also going to have two white wires that come off that same harness, and those are both grounds. Those are going to just ground them. We got our grounding block right there. Those are both grounds. So easy squeezy. And then this is the one white wire that we extended that actually goes back to the AC control valve, the heater control valve, I should say. Same thing, that's your ground. But like I said, I wanted to keep all our grounds basically in a neutral location, so if we have any issues, we can troubleshoot pretty easily and we know where everything's at. Of course, we started labeling, but like I said, I wanted to make this video for you guys so we didn't get too far ahead. So, boom, power, ground, easy squeezy, right? Next up, these two guys right here, you're going to have a violet wire that comes off that same sub harness. The violet wire is a key on ignition hot, just any ignition hot. Make sure it's a good one. 12 volts when cranking with key on, that guy over there. Tan is going to go back to dash lights. So whenever your dash lights come on, that's where you want to put that guy to. So any of those wires that come, usually like a gray wire on these Chevelles, but any of those dash light wires, that's what you want. You want 12 volts when their dash lights come on. So basically that way your box, control panel, whatever you want to call that thing, actually illuminates. So that's what that guy's for there. And then you're also going to have another connector. It's pretty easy, simple. It goes back to the actual module on the vintage air kit. Plug that guy in there, and you're going to have one more that comes off, and that one is for your actual controller that goes to your dash. So you have a little sub harness that goes to that. Easy stuff once again. And that's pretty much it. Actually, there is one wire right here. You guys want to talk about this one real quick. But this guy here, if you notice, it's kind of sitting bare wire right now because we got to do something with that. That's actually the same trinary switch that's running to the front of the car. But what I did is I intercepted it here and I cut it. And what's going to happen with this guy actually right here, we're going to basically splice this here, right? This is coming off the vintage air harness, and this is technically supposed to be hooked up like that, and then it goes back out into the world, aka the trinary switch. But what I'm going to do is from our LS engine harness, we're going to splice in the AC wire to that. So once we get the harness for the motor ran and set and everything, there's going to be a wire that comes off of that, and it's basically to tell the ECU that, hey, the AC's on, let's crank up the RPMs a little bit because there's more of a load on the AC, or on the engine, I should say. That's what that's for. That's what we're going to be doing that. You guys can do that if you want to. Obviously, every motor and transmission combo is going to be separate if you're running, you know, a certain engine and trans combo, right? But that's pretty much it, you guys. When you guys are wiring your vintage air kits, I would say 99% of the vintage air kits are pretty much the same when it comes to wiring. They're pretty simple, and that's all there is to it. Obviously, just make sure you got proper grounds, power, and all that good stuff, and make sure everything is out of the way, heat, moisture, you name it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully this information helps you guys out. We're going to keep cranking. As you guys can see, we got to work on some of the more of the wiring as well. We already started lacing in the PSI standalone LS harness in here, just so we have an idea where everything's going to lay. But let me know if you guys want to see more information on that, another video on that as well, how we're going to wire that stuff up. Put it down in the comments below. But like I said, guys, that's going to do it for this video. We're going to keep cranking, but hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell for notifications. And you guys already know, stay wrenching.